Hey, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to the Mike Wagner Show at gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the donate listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We've got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support at sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Deezer, Stitcher, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with the next best thing when it comes to R&B, a little bit of soul, and just about everything from the Pacific Northwest. He's got an upcoming single out called Can We Still Talk? We're going to play that during the Mike Wagner Show. He's been influenced by a number of musicians: Miles Davis, James Taylor, Usher, Chris Brown, Justin Timberlake, John Mayer, Jason Derulo, and more. I guess he can call himself a pop R&B artist and producer. I mean, what other names can we mention for it, since everything is all just combining together? So, live from the studios in the Pacific Northwest, we have the next best thing with a brand new hybrid and unique sound. But can we still talk about this? Ladies and gentlemen, live from the Pacific Northwest, Christopher Paul. Christopher, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. So you've been in the Pacific Northwest for quite some time. You're born and raised there, and you also have a new single out, Can We Still Talk? And you've been influenced by a number of artists like Miles Davis, James Taylor, Usher, Chris Brown, Justin Timberlake, John Mayer, Jason Derulo, and more. You also call yourself a pop R&B artist and also a producer as well. And before we get into all that, tell us how you got started.
Man, I grew up in church. My dad was a worship pastor.
Oh, wow.
And so it was a small town, Moses Lake, Washington. It's just central Washington. And man, for about 14 years, my dad would lead worship in our church. And there was plenty of opportunities to just jump on different instruments and learn about music, and play with some pretty great musicians as well. So that was kind of the start of everything. Wow,
that's amazing. What was your favorite instrument in church?
That's tough, man. I think it kind of depends. It kind of depends on the song, you know. I love percussion in general. That's kind of where I started, just banging on pots and pans. You know, 3 and 4 years old. I made my own drum at one point, and I would just, I would fall asleep to my dad's piano playing every night, and play along with him when I had the chance, when he would let me, and so favorite instrument with worship music, man, I probably the piano. Just because there's so much that you can do with it. So
it sounds like you've been self-taught on a lot of instruments.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had some lessons. Like I took lessons for violin for a while, besides that, there wasn't a whole lot of teaching going on. But I'll tell you this much, man: when you learn the violin, like the rest of the instruments are just like a cakewalk. You start on an instrument like that, and the rest kind of falls into place.
Wow, I think I should have took that route a long time ago. First violin and everything else easy.
Violin.
Oh my gosh, I think that's a lesson everybody should learn. Take the violin first, and everything else is easy. So I got to remember that.
Man, it puts things in perspective.
And what was the one moment that influenced you into exactly what you're doing? What's the exact moment?
Man, that's tough to sum up. I think that it was more a bunch of little things, man. I have a lot of people that believe in me. I've got a lot of people around me that have wanted what I'm doing now. They've wanted this for me for a long time, and so it's cool to actually see people that aren't just fans, but family and friends, excited for me and cheering me on as I've stepped kind of full time. I just stepped recently into full-time music. So as of January 1st this year, I'm going all in, man.
That is fantastic, too. And, of course, we'll play your single as well, too. Can we still talk about your influences and more? Listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with pop R&B artist and producer, singer-songwriter Christopher Paul from the Pacific Northwest, and we talked about how he got started. Basically, he was in a church. He self-taught himself on live instruments, influenced by a number of musicians. We'll talk more about that and some his favorites and more as well, too. But right now, we're going to get to his new single that's will be debuting nationwide and globally. Here's Can We Still Talk from Christopher Paul right here on The Mike Wagner Show.
Can I get it off my chest? I'm all out of sorts, you sorta up and left. Oh nah, you up and left, it don't mean no disrespect, but we wouldn't be talking if there was nothing left. Oh nah, there's something left, yeah. Couldn't wait to wake up every day. Future is so bright, we'll wear a shade. At least it's what you always used to say. But I forgot. Don't remember why I called. Can we still talk? Maybe meet up at our spot. Reminisce on those old dreams. Find a new thought. Can we still talk? Can we still talk? Hold up for a minute. Honest to God, you know we were the best. Oh nah, we were the best, yeah. Can we just hit reset and wake up in the morning like we got no regrets? Oh nah, we got no regrets, yeah. Couldn't wait to wake up every day. Future is so bright, we'll wear a shade. At least it's what you always used to say. But I forgot. Don't remember why I called. Can we still talk? Maybe meet up at our spot. Reminisce on those old dreams. Find a new thought. Can we still talk? Can we still talk? Girl, girl, it's hard to admit it. And maybe you still want me, even though you talk with my friends and say that you still on me. Still up in some feelings that we tattooed on our bodies. And baby, I know in your heart you wanna dance through this. And girl, it's hard to admit it. You wanna dance through this, even though you talk with my friends. You wanna dance through this. Still up in some feelings. You wanna dance through this. Dance, you wanna dance, baby. You wanna dance through this. And girl, it's hard to admit it. You wanna dance through this, even though you talk with my friends. You wanna dance through this. Still up in some feelings. You wanna dance through this. Dance, you wanna dance, baby. You wanna. Girl, I forgot. Don't remember why I called. Can we still talk? Maybe meet up at our spot. Reminisce on those old dreams. Find a new thought. Dance, you wanna dance, baby. Girl, I forgot. Don't remember why I called. Can we still talk? You wanna dance through this. Maybe meet up at our spot. Reminisce on those old dreams. Find a new thought, new thought, new thought. Can we still talk? Can we still talk? Can we still talk?
Christopher Paul, Can We Still Talk here on the Mike Wagner Show. That is well done, by the way. It just, kind of makes me think of Chainsmokers, Coldplay in a way as well, too. But you just combined everything together, and tell us more about this song and what got you started writing that tune.
Yeah, Can We Still Talk comes from just relationship that you've got with somebody that's special in your life. And there's so many opportunities for things to go wrong and things to be weird and for tension to happen. And I think that everybody to a degree has been through a season where, not losing the person as a friend is so much more important than, whether or not you're still in the relationship or not. And so the idea behind Can We Still Talk is like, even if this doesn't work out, like I said, I don't want to lose you as a friend and as a person.
Mm-hmm. And I think that makes sense too, especially with social media where it's like, friendships can be affected. And of course, people just miss the real thing. And that's something good to know. You also had some other singles as well too, including Garbage, Chicken Scratch, and Life RN. And tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, you bet. Garbage is about that person that never moved on from high school.
I know some of those people. Facebook.
Yeah, the people that are still at the house parties playing beer pong and pretending that they have direction in life. And that's not coming from a judgmental place. Like people got to do what they got to do. But the song is hopefully to shed light on the fact that there's just more to get out of life than that stage, so to speak. So
right, more to life than high school. That's what I tell everybody. There's more to life than high school. It's like high school never ends right there. You're supposed to move on. And I hate to say this too, that our social media says that high school is like the best thing ever. No, there's college, there's family, careers, and what you're doing as well too. That's beyond high school. It makes high school look like what, like nursery school or something? Or
I'd much rather take this season over the seasons in the past, and I think a lot of it has to do with growth and tension and risk and love and everything that molds and shapes a person through life.
That was amazing too, and also Chicken Scratch and Life RN. You can just tell us about those as well.
Sure. Chicken Scratch has to do with forced hits in the pop industry. So like the idea behind it is you can have a forced hit or an obvious hit. A forced hit has very little effort that's gone into it initially, but there's so much money and marketing that's pushed behind it. It's essentially forced into the culture,
Mm-hmm.
and people eventually accept it because it's stuck in their heads. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that there's a big difference between writing quality music and writing catchy music.
Mm-hmm.
An obvious hit is when people are actually able to relate with it, when it's got substantial content. And so Chicken Scratch had to do with the frustration of the fact that there was just a lot of stuff that I was hearing during that time where it was just empty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the lyric is, I can jot it down at 2 a.m. and leave it up to you to make sense of it.
or some lyrics just contain like a few words, 7 words, 10 words, and that's it. You just throw every instrument out there.
Sure. And I mean, if it's the right 7 words, I don't mind you sitting on it. But from my opinion and from where I stand, I think it's so important that if you've got a platform where people, thousands, millions of people are listening to your music, that's something that you should take responsibility for.
Mm-hmm. And also Life RN as well too. You can just tell us about your last single as well.
Life right now. So Life RN stands for Life Right Now. It's just
okay. I thought it was like a doctor symbol or something.
Oh no, RN. No, Life Right Now. Life right now is about seeking the constants in life. So the idea is just the things that aren't just true for a person or true for a season, but absolute truths. Things that are constant through every generation. Things that and just knowing that love is such a huge part of that journey as well. There's principles that guide people through life, and there's what I believe to be the Bible and how God has set specific things into motion and attached promises to those, to where, if you care about other people, if you love other people, if you don't judge other individuals, that your life is going to be exponentially better.
Mm-hmm.
So
mm-hmm.
That's what Life Right Now is about. And then Can We Still Talk? We talked about that just a little bit ago, but the idea just being that we're able to continue corresponding and talking with somebody that you care about, even if the relationship ends up being over at some point.
Mm-hmm. Now, do you have any other singles that's going to be coming out really soon? Any plans to put together an EP or an LP or any albums in the future?
Yeah, I can't necessarily give out too much information.
That's fine.
But I'll definitely say that, I'm planning on putting out a lot of music this year. I'm really excited for it. There's a lot of stuff in the works, and a lot of things that my team is considering, and so we're really excited for this coming year, because the music that's not even out yet is my favorite by far. Compared to the things that are already out. I love every single song that's out right now. I love it, and it's got a special place in my heart, but I'm excited about the stuff that's coming out in the future.
That is amazing. We're looking forward to having you on later in the year. We'll talk about your influences and your other favorites as well, too. What else is coming up? You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with singer, songwriter, pop R&B artist, and producer Christopher Paul from the Great Pacific Northwest, talking about his new single, Can We Still Talk, and also his other releases, Garbage, Chicken Scratch, Life Right Now, or Life RN, as I see on Spotify, and also catches his other songs on other platforms as well, too. And, of course, you've been influenced by such artists like Miles Davis, James Taylor, Usher, Chris Brown, Justin Timberlake, John Mayer, Jason Derulo, and more. And tell us about those artists and, what was the influence behind those guys?
Yeah. From a genre standpoint, there was there was a lot of funk and R&B and jazz and stuff like that at the beginning, just, what my parents essentially were listening to. And I had the opportunity to be brought up in a musician's home. And so that really allowed me to grow an appreciation for quality music that takes a lot of talent to make and a lot of talent to play and create. And so that was huge for me. Miles Davis, I mean, is just a legend in his own right, and being able to listen to dynamic and tact with single instrument is just absolutely amazing. I love in my own music, the way that it bleeds through is that oftentimes you can actually pick out a single instrument that dominates over the rest of the music. And at the same time, I had funk roots and folk roots, and I think the folk actually spoke to a lot of the emotional stuff that I've written. And the funk is a lot of the fun stuff that comes out, the stuff that makes you move. You can't not move to some of this stuff. And so I appreciate a lot of different genres because I've been exposed to them for so long. And growing up around musicians, professional musicians, and people that were growing in their crafts, you're able to grow and actually grow a perspective of where you are in your own craft. It means a lot, and it helps gain perspective for where you need to go. I was just going to say,
go ahead.
If you know where you are, you know where you can go, and that's huge for me.
That is amazing too. I was going to ask you about Miles Davis. What do you consider your favorite album or your favorite song from Miles Davis?
It's hard. I wouldn't probably be able to put a pin on it. And honestly, I tell people this all the time, but I'm horrible with names, and great with, there's that saying, people don't remember what you say, but they remember how you make them feel. Mm-hmm. And more than anything, I think just the vibes of that specific artist was impactful for me.
I was going to ask you about Bitches Brew. That's one of his best works, and what were your thoughts on it?
I honestly, I think that when it comes down to Miles, and I guess with that specific record, I brought up the dynamic. I brought up just the feel and the vibe. I appreciate the fact that he took so much intentionality with his music, and I think that breaking it down just to the artist and who he was. I love the fact that he never compromised. I love the fact that he stayed true to playing music where it's so obvious in every moment that he was feeling something, and it translates through the music.
And do you think today's singers out there right now have that same passion like Miles Davis does?
I don't think I can speak for everyone. It's a pretty broad brush to paint with. But I think that more and more people are becoming passionate about making music that actually matters. Probably because of the fact that I feel like my generation, the young generation, we've dealt with music for a while, where maybe emotion and vulnerability was lacking. And so, I think that any time that a generation grows up with a deficiency emotionally, it's something that they become extremely hungry for, and they'll eventually go out and find it.
Mm-hmm. I have been noticing that for quite some time. They're going way back, to like the Robert Johnsons or Big Band and Glenn Miller, and I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head on that one. And who are some of your other favorites growing up as well, in terms of artists, singers, groups, and what have you?
Man, James Taylor was huge for me. I loved his acoustic guitar playing. I loved a lot of the harmonies, choices. I loved the lyricism was absolutely incredible. And gosh, what else? I started getting into R&B. I started getting into Boyz II Men, people that were pretty prominent in the R&B world during the 90s. 80s, 90s, and I just, in order to get to where I am now, there was a lot of artists that helped shape that. And so I feel like I'm rambling, but the point is just that I was able to expose myself to a lot of different artists growing up.
It's actually good because you just able to show everybody what you listen to and everything. That's good, though. I have to say that. It's like, it's okay to go on and on. That's a good thing about it. I encourage people to do that. So
Sure.
That's a good thing too. And also, you talked about having producing more music on the way for 2020. Any plans for a tour during this year?
Once again, I don't know if I can necessarily release a ton of information, but the hope is to definitely do. I mean, at the very least, the hope is to do a radio tour. And so just being able to talk with a bunch of different people about what's going on and the moves that we're making right now. It's really exciting, and just the fact that more and more people are jumping on board with what's going on in my career is super exciting and encouraging. And so just continuing to build the awareness of the steps that we're taking is kind of the goal for this coming year.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing too. And you talk about radio tours, you're on one right now with the Mike Wagner Show, so you could say that's kind of a start, and then you just continue the bandwagon right there.
Keep going.
That's right. And of course, what do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh gosh, in what way? I'm sorry.
Biggest influence in your career, like say with music or just life in general or anything.
Biggest influence? Oh gosh, I mean, between Jesus and my mom, man. I'm a mama's boy through and through. I absolutely love my mom, and she's been the biggest supporter, as well as my wife, and man, I think that between those two, it helps me believe in myself, knowing that somebody cares about me enough to die for me, and somebody cares about me enough to raise me.
That is fantastic. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Best advice I could give to people is focus on purpose, do what matters. I think that a lot of people assume that there's a lot of life to live, and the life that I've lived, says differently, in the sense that I've lost a lot of people. I've watched a lot of people go down a dark path and waste a lot of time. And, if you don't know what step to take, just get help. Like, be vulnerable and honest with your situation. It's okay to be okay. You don't need to be perfect, like, social media portrays, and the people that you look up to, their lives are just as messed up as anybody else's.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important to recognize the fact that we're all in this fight together. And if you focus on what really matters, rather than, trying to fill your life with the affirmation of people that don't really, the affirmation that doesn't really matter, I think that you're going to be all right.
That is very true, and something to take to heart as well, too. And Chris, just want to say a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Christopher Paul here on the Mike Wagner Show with his new single, Can We Still Talk? And before we go, tell us about your upcoming projects, your website, how do people contact you, and where can people purchase or listen to your music?
Yeah, you bet. I actually just released a music video for Can We Still Talk. It's on YouTube, and would love for you guys to check that out. My website is ChristopherPaulOfficial.com. You can check that out. I'm on Snapchat, Instagram. As far as streaming services go, I'm on Spotify, iTunes, pretty much any major streaming platform as well. I'm mostly on Instagram. And so if you guys want to connect, just DM me and would love to talk with you. And if you got questions about stuff that's coming up, I try to do my best to respond to every person. So
that is great. Chris, I just want to say a big thank you for your time. You've been fantastic. Christopher Paul here on the Mike Wagner Show. Thank you very much for your time. You've been fantastic. Looking forward to having you on again soon. And do us a favor, keep us up to date.
All right, will do. I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.